This episode of the Upper 90 Club is brought to you, as always, by Supporter Supply Company. Hi, friends, this is your good pal Morgan Hughes, here to talk to you about a serious issue facing 96% of all crew supporters in Columbus. Why, not enough free shipping, of course. For a limited time now, through the eventual heat death of the universe, Upper 90 Club listeners can use the promo code Upper90Boys. That's boys with a Z on the end of it, at checkout for free delivery on absolutely any order over $10. But Morgan, what if I order $10 worth of stickers, or those goddamned buttons, or some other combination of small items that make you want to kill yourself? Will the free shipping still apply then, even as you curse our family, while you package up our little tiny annoying ass order for us? Of course it will. That's just how much we here at Supporter Supply value our friends at the Upper 90 Club. So head on over to supportersupply.co and use the promo code Upper90Boys. That's boys with a Z at checkout for free shipping on all your orders over $10. And don't forget to tell them that your friends at the Upper 90 Club sent ya.
So far, the crew has cleared every hurdle naysayers have placed in their way. Columbus would be home to one of the 10 inaugural teams. Columbus has outperformed much larger cities. The true success indicator has been from the fans.
Well, it's boys night out.
Hey guys, welcome to the club.
Merry Clubmas.
Daddy,
Daddy, I missed you.
It's me, your host Mars. It's still here. It's still the Upper 90 Club, and we're rounding it out. We're rounding out the year. This is a roundtable podcast about the Columbus Crew and only the Columbus Crew. We're not going to veer off topic.
Never.
We're only going to stay in Columbus. We're going to focus on Columbus. That'll be the only thing we discuss.
Never
Not
left.
if we tip of the hat.
And I missed that. It's good to be back, guys. Sorry I missed you last week. I just got out of the Nutcracker a few minutes ago.
Yeah, you and Haas.
Yeah, we got there's some Russian dances, Mouse Kings. Is it a rat or a mouse?
Splinter?
It doesn't matter. I know. So I was late, not because of the Nutcracker, but because we got, you get home and everyone's all like freaked out. They're just like crazy getting kids to bed. And by the time I was done with that, it was too late. So sorry I missed you last week, but glad to be back with all of you, Ben, Mort, Trey, and Haas. Say hey, guys.
Tip of the hat.
Hello.
Hey, we missed you more than you missed us.
That's probably very true.
I didn't miss me.
No.
Yeah, I was sad to miss it, but this is going to be a special double episode, right? Are we we're going to record this week's episode and then we'll see about next week. We're going to have a new episode next week, right, Ben?
Yeah, but I'm going to be in Mexico on a cruise.
Is this what all that studying was for?
Yeah, Duolingo. Like, ¿Dónde está la Maya aliens?
Sounds like you're going to be shitting yourself.
I'm going, yeah.
Maya aliens. There's no way they say that like that. Okay. All right. Well, so
I'm working on it. I'm workshopping it.
On this episode, we're going to review the draft picks. We're going to talk about the schedule, which dropped. And we are going to talk about an away game, a quasi away game that has been a big topic of discussion among
an away home
fans
game
in the last week or so. So let's get into it. I wanted to do this last week. I was sorry to miss it, but it's not too late. This is a surprise segment I wanted to get out there. I couldn't tell you about it because its secrecy is its success. So for the last 2 years, this is our third new year doing this podcast.
Yeah.
I have quizzed you guys on the word of the year, the Oxford word of the year.
Right.
And
You'd
so
think I would have studied.
Oh, I think I know what it is. Having
Well, hold
kids
on.
kind of helps.
Wait.
Okay. Well, so let me go through. So last year, what I did was I told you what the word was, and I gave you 4 definitions, and we voted
okay.
on it. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go through 4 for the finalists, and you tell me which one it was. Okay.
So they have finalists and then one wins?
Yeah, I don't know if it's by voting. I actually have a little article. I'll read a couple blurbs from, but
I'm not worried about the authenticity.
anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not fake news. It could be fake news. All right, your 4 options are, and then we'll go around. We'll hear what you have to say. The first option is romantasy, which is a genre of fiction that combines elements of romance and fantasy, obviously. Brain rot. It's supposed deterioration of a person's mental or intellectual state. Demure, a description of people who are serious, reserved, or
isn't that an
grave
actual
in demeanor.
word, demure?
Yeah. I mean,
It's
all
a
of these
word.
are actual words. There's just the word of the year.
Oh, okay.
They're not always
Sorry,
new
I had
words.
brain rot.
For instance,
Callback.
last year it was Riz.
Yeah, I remember Riz.
And that was like
I've been saying
new word.
skibbity Riz like once an hour.
And the
this
year
entire
before,
year.
does anyone remember what it was the year before? It was Goblin Mode.
Oh, that's so good. Man, that was a splash in the pan.
Yeah.
And
Your last choice is slop. It's the art writing or other content generated using artificial intelligence, shared and distributed online in an indiscriminate or intrusive way. See this podcast.
I like that. I like that slop. That's my favorite.
I like
version of
that
slop.
slop.
All right. So, Ben, what's your vote?
Do we want to do it in the side chat and then see who actually wins, or are we just going to go round
I don't know
table?
how to side
No, just
chat.
say what you
Okay, can't
say,
side chat.
say what you think.
I
and
think
then-
it's
yeah.
word of the year. It's got to be. I feel like it's slop because AI started this year.
Okay. All right.
And I
What was
like
the third one?
The third one was demure.
Didn't we do the ones that they added that
Demure?
year? Those are the ones they like added to Webster's dictionary.
Just let this happen. You know,
All
like
right.
Yeah.
it's like just play the game as it's
Ruining
described.
everything.
So
Just keep the team in Columbus. Okay?
I'm sure I was a big slop in college, and I feel like I already have brain rot, so that could be a thing. But it was, I think that what do you call the last one? The muzzy, it was a bromazzy.
Oh,
Because
romantasy.
Bromantasy. What it should.
Romantasy.
Yeah, but I think it should
you
be
want it to
bromantasy.
There were others like that.
City of guys who love each other.
Yeah, there was one I read about called. Hold on, there was one. There was last year called. That doesn't matter.
But
Doesn't
yeah,
matter.
I go brain rot.
Brain rot. Okay,
Brain rot.
I got it.
he's got it. He went to the doctor. It's brain rot.
Yep. Finally went to the doctor.
Trey.
I'm not being a contrarian. I think it's demure.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Haas.
Yeah, I'm on board with Trey.
Demure.
All right.
Okay. All right. So the answer is it's not just you. Oxford University Press, the publisher of Oxford English Dictionary, is also going a bit fuzzy between the ears. After digging through its enormous database, it has chosen brain rot, specifically the kind brought on by digital overload, as its 2024
Digital overload right now.
word of the yeah, so this is from the New York Times. It's been quite a journey for brain rot, which triumphed over a short list of contenders, including lore, demure, romantasy, dynamic pricing,
Yeah.
and slop.
But though that dynamic pricing is 2 words.
Yeah, so is Goblin Mode.
That
So
cosmic slop.
according to Oxford, its earliest known appearance was in 1854 in Walden. Henry David Thoreau's classic account of moving alone to a cabin in the woods. Quote, "While England endeavors to cure the potato rot," Thoreau lamented, "will not any endeavor to cure the brain rot, which prevails so much more widely and fatally." Okay. So there you have it. The word of the year.
I'm interested in to see what word they added this year. How about this? We'll look it up.
I'm sure there's more than one.
Yeah. Skibbity's got to be it.
Can't figure it out.
There's no way to know.
Impossible.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for playing, guys. This
You're
has
welcome.
been great. I was glad to see Brain Rot. There was I started on Merriam-Webster, and I was glad to remember that we had done Oxford in the past because Merriam-Webster was like polarization as it relates to politics. Bah, who cares? I'm done talking about that.
That's our other podcast.
I was just
Also
gonna like
titled The Upper
eject the
90
segment. So anyway, good to see you guys. So let's jump in here and kind of talk through this past week of crew news. Number one that we wanted to talk about was the draft picks. And Ben, do you have those pulled up?
Yeah, I didn't realize there was still a lot of this stuff going on because we ended up losing Yao, I think, during this time, right? Did he get signed by San Diego, or was it part of the draft picks? Like we traded him for
It's like
a
a
something like that.
supplementary.
Yeah, there's like more stuff going on, but so first round we passed. I think we gave it to, I don't know, looking at the list, I don't know if you guys saw the list, but Colorado drafted like 13 players, and every other team either drafted like one or two. It's like, oh, cool. Very Colorado-y. So round two, we had Cesar Rovalcaba. He was number 51. He's a defender from Southern Methodist. He was born in Rome. He was the emperor for, I don't know.
Southern Methodist what?
Church. And then round three, we got Drew Kerr, number 81. He's a forward from Duke. So
Steve Kerr's nephew.
Yes.
Is that so? Okay.
There's no way. Is it?
Is it really?
Fake news.
Listen to him. Come on.
Was it Steve Kerr that's a big Tottenham fan? Is it Kerr? We'll get back to you on that. I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah.
It is not Steve Kerr's nephew, though.
So
why?
This is just total brain rot here, but why do we have so few picks and so late? Is that because we've done well historically? Did we trade away our picks? Does anybody know? Like,
I think all of the above.
Yeah, I'll have our first pick be 51.
Yeah, I mean it started out in round 2.
Yeah.
Was there only 3 rounds? I think there was probably more than 3.
We could have traded picks too. Who knows if they did something.
It's interesting. There's been some decent players that have come out of these like college picks, right? I think DeJuan Jones was one of them. Was he not? I know a lot of defenders.
I believe you're right.
Aaron Long. I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, I think they kind of, what do they do? Probably just like they take a look at them, see if they can develop. I mean, we have Crew 2 now, which is nice.
Yeah. So that's what I was going to ask is, do they go straight to Crew 2? Like, are we recruiting for that team, or are they like do they have a first crack at the first team?
I think the answer to all this is yes. I mean, you have players that are probably a little bit late developing, and they're not identified at 15, 16, 17. So they're going to come in. If they can make it, they can make it. If not, they're going to be put down to Crew 2
or USL or something like that. I mean, there's a path beyond that, but I don't even know. Do they have to graduate to be
windy? No.
So they can just enter the draft just like regular?
Yeah.
Got it.
With zero intelligence.
Brain rot, baby. But yeah, so that's the update with that. We don't know too much about the guys. We'll see what happens. Yeah. I mean, I mean, we lost Yao, but we did sign Evan Bush, which was interesting. Big fan of that.
Yeah, and he's going to sit like third string again, and then hopefully stay healthy so we're not having to have all the substitution theatrics that we had late last season.
Big fan of Bush.
Okay.
Book you a tour, man.
Of which?
Okay, so any other roster? We didn't see anyone go. We didn't lose anyone in the expansion draft, right? But Yao ended up at San Diego, just kind of through like a two-part transaction or two-step transaction.
While we're talking about transfers, there was that very big rumor in Mexican press that Monterrey was very, very close to signing Cucho, but nothing seems to come of that. So knock on wood, hope that was just fake news.
Yeah, I think I read it was like less than 5% chance that was going to happen. So
Who was giving percentages?
that was, I think, from Tom Bogert.
Drew Carey.
So write down crickets.
It'd be a nature podcast.
We won't even mention where you're at currently. We'll get to it.
Yeah, so we will. Before we get there, you guys, we saw the schedule come out.
Man, I
What'd you
barely
think?
looked at it. When are we coming to Chicago? When was that? Was that late? I feel like it was late.
Yeah, September
September.
27th.
Yeah.
That's a bummer. I don't know if you guys want to.
It's
Make
kind of
that
a more
happen too
difficult
hard.
time to go there. The couple of things that I noted was obviously we play the Three Saints. So we're playing San Diego away, we're playing St. Louis, and we're playing, what's the last Saint?
San Jose.
San Jose.
San Jose.
Yeah. So we're playing all of the Saints. 2 away and all away. No, St. Louis at home.
Got it.
No, all
And
away.
Austin will never come to Columbus.
Oh, man.
No.
That day, oh, boy. The first thing I thought is like, you cowards. Every time it drops,
that
I'm
we
like,
played them already away.
oh,
I
wow, yeah.
immediately started digging through the Austin logs, and we played them their first year away.
Yeah,
but
and nothing
they won't
said.
allow them to come to Columbus.
You
Nope.
have to do it in the playoffs.
You'll have to MLS Cup.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
Leagues Cup. It could be Leagues Cup. Theoretically,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, maybe. They're not even in Leagues Cup, probably. They were garbage last year.
Isn't
Darn
everyone in
garbage
Leagues
last
Cup?
year.
Yeah, everybody's in Leagues Cup, but they don't go very far in Leagues Cup. That's a total different discussion.
Yeah. So we have, Vancouver from the West we're playing, but that's at home in June.
Yep. At St. Louis, at home to San Jose. We had Seattle away as well. And then I think that rounds it off for the crossovers.
Got it. Cool. Man, I want to play Austin.
Nashville is East now, right? Because I think they were West.
Yeah,
like
they
their
were.
first year.
The New York Red Bull switcheroo.
Yeah, I think when they added
LA.
LAFC, is that what it was?
Or something like no.
Yeah, it seems like that was too
whoever it
long ago, but
Or St. Louis.
maybe St. Louis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so we were looking at the schedule. My wife and I, and we saw this. What was it? Away at Cincinnati on July 12th, and away at Nashville on July 16th. That Wednesday, we were talking about doing like a summer vacation. We got friends in Nashville from when we lived there, and her family's in Cincinnati. So
I will be going to the Nashville game.
oh yeah,
Yeah. So we'll have to coordinate that.
we should.
My cousins
totally do
came up
that.
who live in Nashville or Franklinton or whatever. And they were like,
Franklin.
yeah, we should go. Yeah, Franklin.
Yeah.
Who knows? No one.
Nash Vegas. I'm in.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
But why would it be bad in Chicago in September 27th? It's not going to be cold.
A school schedule for the kids. I mean, it's just harder.
Get rid of the
get
kids.
away.
I get rid of my kids. Let's do it.
I mean, yeah, I'm going to go.
Yeah,
and
I'll be there.
y'all should do it. As many as in Haas, if you can find something to do with your kids, then
The only thing
My
I can
kids
think
are
about
so
was
busy around them.
yeah, flights might be cheaper. Of course,
maybe.
we can always catch up on some shows on the van again.
Yeah.
Oh man, that show is good. Plus, we don't know with the drones they're taking planes. Man, you never know. We should probably drive. Crickets.
What?
The drones.
Yeah,
the
that's
drones
been
are going to be
another,
taking planes.
Wake
another
up,
hot
Sheba.
topic is the drones in New Jersey. Yeah, a lot of people have been interested in that.
I'm
Drones
not.
on
Seems like
planes.
none of us have been, other than Ben. But
I haven't slept.
I think
Where?
I got to change your award. Hold on a second.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Before I forget. Okay. I'll come back to that.
But man,
We're
it's starting
wrap.
February. Man, it's going to be here soon. We got Christmas, New Year's.
Yeah, and last year we didn't have the first game was away, I believe, right? So now the first game is at home this year.
Yeah, Christmas in February.
Yeah.
Gold
Yep.
times.
Yeah, 222. Okay. Let's see. And then there. So I'm looking at the schedule. You can tell which ones are away because they have like a little yellow at sign.
Yep.
Then there's this one in April.
That is all yellow.
Yeah. Let's before we talk about this, we should. This may be a little shorter, so let's do a quick sponsor break, and then we'll talk about this game on April 19th. We'll be right back.
We will have to have
Tip of the hat, club. This is Stacy, president and supreme leader of the Upper 90 Run Club, and I have a few important announcements for you. This campaign season, I feel for all the candidates vying for office, and I wish them all the best on election day. I don't like to run for office. I just like to run. Yay! And if you do too, I want you to join the club. It's easy to join, and it's a great way to engage with the crew community while being active. Download the Strava app and search for Upper 90 in groups.
So easy.
Also, grab some swag. My subjects have informed me that the Run Club now has official race kits available for purchase.
That's right.
Go to supportersupply.com and you can find the race kit by searching Upper 90. They look good and they feel great too.
It's a smash hit.
Anyway, I'm gonna hit the bricks, but I can't wait to see everyone in the club soon. My name is Stacy and I approve this message.
All right, we're back. I forgot to mention, I've already done it, but don't forget to try and use Brain Rot.
Oh, yeah.
Perhaps we could use it to describe what led to the thing that we all knew was going to happen, which is that the crew are going to play one of their biggest blockbuster games against Messi and Miami, not at home, but in Cleveland this year.
But home on paper.
April 19th.
Right.
We knew this was going to happen. We had Chris Lamacchia on last year. There was some language
We were
in the season
warned.
ticket agreement.
Yeah,
but the people are disappointed. Even though we, not surprised but disappointed. So, what do you think? Discuss.
So first of all, I think the reaction, why it's so big, is everybody knew it was coming. So everybody has fueled up for so long about I have all these arguments and I have all these things I'm going to say if this happens. So when it happened, everybody's just unloading, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's coming left and right, and everybody's very, very upset about something that no one was coming. So we should be able to handle it better. We knew this was happening.
Yeah,
So-
we knew. I'm interested because I know when it came out, Trey and I talked about it at work, and we're kind of on the same page. But shout out Brian. I drove down. I forgot I had bought a Hail Matan scarf off him months ago, and he's like, "Hey, just a reminder, you got this. Come down and grab it." And I was like, I completely forgot. So I drove down there on Friday? Yeah,
Right.
Where is there?
just downtown, Grandview.
So timely to get that now, by the way.
Well, yeah, no kidding. Well, that's why I bought it. He's like, hey, he's leaving. And I was like, yeah, I absolutely want that scarf. So it's sweet, but it was raining. And he came running out and handed it to me. And then we ended up hanging out talking. He just sat there in the rain and we just talked about the Cleveland thing. And I was like,
Did you say, is it raining? I didn't notice.
I was in my car, warm and cozy.
I was going
and
to say,
he
you were
was
under an umbrella, not offering it to...
I texted him afterwards, like, hey, good to meet you. And he's like,
Yeah.
never again. No, but he runs Queen Anne's Revenge, which is like opposite of the Nordeca. He's like behind. He's like they have the Schulte signs and stuff like that. He runs that smaller supporter club. But he's awesome. But he was going about it, and it struck me because the way I perceived it and the way he perceived it was vastly different. And I want to hear from Haas and Mort because you guys are season ticket holders. What do you guys think? I want to hear what you guys have to think because, like, I don't have season tickets, so to me, I'm like, it doesn't feel like I'm getting something stolen from me.
I think it's a cash grab.
Level.
I think it's a cash grab for sure, but I don't 100% blame the Haslams. I mean, it's not their money if they make the money. It goes into the league. The league wants more money. So
and Messi owns part of the league, right? So that basically,
of course, like 3/4.
So we should say before we get kind of further into that, let's talk about we have up here for the season ticket members. They release this kind of without asking you. I'm assuming they didn't like send an email like you want to opt in or whatever.
Correct.
So the benefits they're giving you as a season ticket holder is tickets to this match tickets to this match are included in your season ticket package. Your seats will be in an equal or better location to your seats at lower.com field. Where are your seats at? Have you guys gotten your seat assignment?
So dog
pound,
yeah.
So hold on, Mort. Mort, what Brian told me is that he sits next to his friends, like Queen Anne's Revenge, but he only pays for like his seat. He was assigned away from, it's not like he was still sitting next to his friends. They got assigned a different seat in the stadium. So like you sit next to Jesse. Is Jesse like on the other side of the stadium? Do you know?
I haven't checked. That's a very good question. All I know is they seated us in very similar area in the stadium. So it little bit different, but I think it might have to do with where the dog pound is compared to Nordica. So assuming since we like to be closer to that, that's probably what we put on that side. They could be. I will have to check, but they did put us in very equal, kind of a top of the box on the Nordic as well.
Well, like location, but like if you're sitting, I mean, for the people that have season tickets, they're like friends with the people around them, and they probably don't pay for their friends' tickets. So it sounds like they didn't just copy and paste like rows; they just scattered people. I don't know. It just sounds.
That's a very good question. I have to check that. I can find that out.
It's weird. Did they allow you to opt out and get your money back?
No.
What? I thought they did.
Absolutely not.
No. Absolutely not.
Okay,
no.
That's ridiculous. All right, so anyways, the next up is a complimentary parking and food and beverage voucher. So they gave you like one free beer or one free hot dog, and they gave you free parking pass.
Because parking around that stadium's great. If you've ever been to a Browns game, it's fantastic.
Okay.
You only have to walk a few miles.
Like 2 miles.
Is it really like really far away?
Oh yeah, it
sucks.
Yeah. So a parking pass is like, park in Columbus and walk.
Here's
there.
$10 free dollars.
Yeah, if you put it on a VIP parking, maybe. I mean, so many of those too.
So next up is an exclusive post-match on the field experience at Huntington Bank Field. So after the game, you guys
stick around for that. Yeah, it'll be great. I won't be completely slobbering on myself drunk or anything like that.
Because of AI. Because is it slop? What are we talking?
Sloppering on myself.
It's going to be so exclusive that no one worth talking to will be there.
I mean, it's like, it would be cool if they're like, Messi's going to sit at the center of the field and you can go like hang out with him and the team, but I highly doubt that's what's going to happen. And the last thing they're going to give you an exclusive pre-sale window to relocate, upgrade, or add additional discount tickets. You can't sell this ticket.
What
right?
a gift! Yeah.
No, you should be able to sell it on the aftermarket.
I don't think
supposedly they said no resale of your ticket.
Do you really think Messi's going to show up to Cleveland in April?
It's
going to be snowing. There's no way. He's not going to show up, and I'm going to love when it blows up in the Haslam's face.
That would be a gift from the Santa if he doesn't show up.
I might embrace it. I will see what these discounted tickets means if I'm going to take the rest of the fam up there and to make it a Cleveland weekend.
Yeah. All right. So quickly before we go on, so the benefits for the Columbus Crew fans, so the people that go, this is how they're pitching it is be a part of the first MLS match in Northeast Ohio. Okay. Cool. Celebrate the beautiful game with up to 68,000 soccer fans.
Up to.
Dogtown Drive will host a black and gold pre-match party.
Cool.
Experience Crew and Browns pre-match traditions. Which means we're going to lose, probably, or whatever.
Yeah.
Why would you have that?
Pre-match tradition.
And the last thing it says, Crew supporters will take over the iconic Dog Pound. The bullet points for benefits for Columbus Crew fans is one of the dumbest things I've ever read in my entire life.
Yeah. Like to drive 120 miles up. I-70.
So my I wasn't thinking about it this way.
Man, I feel bad for the guy who had to come up with this.
my grandmother-in-law.
If he's still employed, it blows my mind.
Yeah.
My grandmother-in-law pointed out to me that she lives in Cleveland.
Where are you at now?
That's where I currently am. I'm in her office.
You're already waiting for the game.
Grandmother-in-law. No one has ever said that.
How else do you say it?
You say
my wife's grandmother.
Yeah.
She
wife.
points out that this is the Haslam's attempt to show that they can pull big crowds to Cleveland. So they don't even want to play in the stadium that they're forcing us to play in. They want to prove they can pull big crowds for events to Cleveland in their new home in Crocker Park or whatever the fuck it is. And that she thinks that's the bigger point, is that he wants to prove that they don't need to be downtown. They can move to this new stadium and they're going to make Guns N' Roses come play or something.
Man, we got to have your grandmother-in-law on here.
What about your grandfather-in-law?
I better credit her in the comment.
She's behind you with a knife.
So what I think is the most important thing is we know this was going to happen. I kind of been annoyed by this long enough to kind of, okay, either I go or I don't. I mean, we'll see. But I knew it was going to happen. The bigger picture is, what kind of precedent does it set? What kind of wording do we need? I need wording that says maybe there's something in there that says maximum 1 game a year or something like that. So they don't say like, hey, this was kind of cool. Why don't we start doing 2 games? Or like we might do like a NFL and we're going to play one game in Wrexham next year. I mean, like
Messi might show up to this later game.
Yeah. So my point is there needs to be some wording or some kind of clarity on the fact that this is not a normal occurrence, that set some limits on it.
Because right now, I think the wording just says we can play in.
Yeah, that just sounds like paranoia. I mean,
no, but that's the thing. You are dealing with a very paranoid fan base,
as we should be.
Rightfully so.
Yeah. So that's why they should be very clear of that and don't use the word seamless about anything about a game in Cleveland. There's nothing seamless about it.
Let's make this clear. And I forgot to do this off the top, though, is that I don't think anybody here on the pod thinks that this isn't an attempt to move the team to Cleveland in the future.
No.
So, like, taking that off the table, I don't think anybody here is paranoid enough to think that the Haslams are going to try and rip the team away, even with local ownership. I don't think that's what this is. I think this is 100% a cash grab to be able to use their other stadium that they don't have to pay as much to rent out, quote unquote, even though they're probably paying themselves. They're not going to use a high stadium because they don't own it.
Yeah, they would cost them a ton.
And by the way, that's some of the difference between some of these other games. Kansas City, that had 102%, 110% like capacity on their games last year because they played one game at Arrowhead.
Yeah.
But that's the same city at least. Right?
I don't have a problem with this game being played in Cleveland. I really for Messi. I mean, I really don't.
No, I do. There's a competitive game against maybe one of our.
Yeah, and we said it how many months ago that if Leagues Cup was up there and they moved the Leagues Cup games up there, we wouldn't. I personally wouldn't have cared. You could have taken every Leagues Cup game, every Open Cup game, any of it up there, the final, and I wouldn't have cared. You take one home game away, I don't care. It's not. It's messy. It's what they're going to do.
Once Messi leaves, I don't think they do this again. I don't think there's
who is the next name that's big enough. There's not another name big enough, which is another reason why I don't care about it that much.
Pepe.
Yeah, okay, but before you had Beckham, they would have done this with Beckham. They're doing,
but he
it with
never
Messi.
showed up and played in Columbus anyway.
But he never showed up and played in Columbus. As a non-season ticket member, this doesn't bother me. As somebody who owns season ticket members, I can see why it bothers you.
100%.
But from the outside looking in, I get a day in Cleveland that I can go up and enjoy and, tailgate and do all this other stuff. It's a different experience.
And
it's
not watch Messi because he's not going to be here.
So that's an interesting. I mean, the reason why it's up there is because they're not going to sell 70,000 tickets to just any opponent. So they're capitalizing on that. I was thinking back to when they opened up Soldier Field and sold a bunch more tickets here in Chicago for Messi, and then he got injured in Copa America. And then they had all these really expensive tickets that they sold, and he didn't come. And so I've
heard he has a hard time with that.
Huh?
Coming.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it goes back to the belt
Cleveland Haas is a different Haas, man. Cleveland Haas is a different Haas.
Been drinking all day.
Yeah. So in that case, what they did was they said that they would give you a credit for season tickets. Like to put toward your season ticket. You could get a makeup match for fan appreciation night in October, or you could get a ticket to the Miami game next year.
If Messi doesn't show up,
he doesn't show up again.
An absolute train wreck.
Unless he's super injured, I think he has been pretty diligent on playing. He played a lot when he was healthy.
I mean, we already saw him
played a lot,
last year.
Less than half of the year last year.
Yeah, but his ankle was legit
15
hurt.
games, 13 games, something like that.
But a lot, Zlatan and stuff just didn't travel to anything other than LA. Messi went and played at these other places. I don't get me wrong. It would be my favorite thing if he doesn't show up and there's.
It is a natural grass field, right?
Yeah,
it is.
Huntington, whatever the they call it now.
Huntington Bank.
Sorry.
I don't know. So, I mean, where I'm at with this is you're at a situation where the Crew is not going to play all of their games at home for the rest of eternity, period. So everybody's upset because one game is being moved up there.
Give us a chance to opt out. Give us a chance to opt out.
Agree.
Yes, I want.
Agree. I agree with that 100%.
Put in your wording that this is like a maximum one time a year they can do this stuff.
Yeah.
So, because I don't want to come, if the wording is in there and next year it's like 2 games in Cleveland and I can't opt out.
But if they told you that and they went, we're going to play the Leagues Cup games up there, do you care as much?
So yeah,
not if I'm forced to go and I'm opting into the Leagues Cup and have to pay like last year.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. If you're not paying for it, and it's not unless you opt in,
and
they're
there are teams that have paid for their fans to travel, or at least provided a supplemented their budget.
Not 10,000 season ticket holders.
So.
What do you want? I mean, what do you want? Do you think 10,000 season ticket holders are going to show up in Cleveland?
Yes.
Or it's going to be a stadium of pink?
No,
that's all that's going to be.
But what Mort's saying, which makes sense, is price per game goes up year over year, I'm sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then if they go and say, well, we got this other match that's a couple hundred miles away, that's probably the closest city they could play in, and pull something like this off without really putting out the fans. But if you can't opt out of that ticket and you can't go, then and you can't resell it, which is that's
Easter
hearsay at this point.
weekend.
But that's it's inflating your price per ticket, right?
Well,
and you can't in good you can't in good faith kind of pull the rug out from somebody who has to commit to a season ticket early, or you're going to lose your seat anyway because there's enough demand that they're going to sell your ticket whether you buy it or not, your season ticket whether you buy it or not.
Right.
And so you got to commit early, and then they tell you when you're going to not be at home. That's
the worst part. The other positive that comes out of this is that you are giving Northern Ohio a chance to actually see the Crew, to experience it, to actually gain some fandom up there. Like, we don't care. Like, we're not going to go south. We can't go Cincinnati.
Yep.
Right.
You can go
They've
north.
got a chance. They've got many
Toledo.
chances throughout the year to show up
to come down to Columbus. Sure.
And we have a Cleveland, contingent up there, and we have
there's Akron, there's Steubenville.
There's a supporter group that's up there, and so here's the deal. I think
are they gonna play Cleveland games down here?
Okay,
right.
They've talked about it.
And bring the Cavs down, bring the Browns down.
So I want to take this a totally different way. I hear what you're saying. I think in general, bottom line, if you're a season ticket member and you can't opt out of this, you're wrong. It's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. Like that, you're absolutely wrong. Like, full stop.
You're not agreeing. I mean, you're agreeing to the terms in the fine print that we had to suss
garbage.
out.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
What are my options? Oh yeah, there's plenty of people that want my seats.
Or
that's the thing.
Or
now.
sell it and make money.
Yeah.
Like, at that point, you should be allowed to sell it and make money and call it a day. So, like, in my opinion, there's that. I want to take another look at this, kind of like how Trey was saying, because we kind of look at it differently. Like what he just said, getting these Cleveland people to be fans. So, I mean, if you have 3 major cities, because there's literally nothing in between these cities, because it's Ohio. Like, if we capture Cleveland, that's a lot of people. Like, I became a Browns fan more because, Columbus, they picked up the Browns, like, owners picked us up, which was terrible because the Browns are terrible and what they've done is terrible. But I want the same thing to happen in Cleveland, because that would be huge. That's like hundreds of thousands of people being fans.
But we're already selling out games.
Where we should go.
True.
What is the objective?
So check it out. I also want to like play devil's advocate. So we say we're gonna lose a home game. Cool. I understand that as well. If you look at our home record against Miami, we lose at home all the time. Like, we lost to Messi. We lost when Campana scored. Like, since Inter Miami's been around, I don't think we've won at home. I think we maybe have 1 tie and 2 losses or 3 losses or something like that.
Yeah,
so, like, not to be a jerk, but we don't do well against certain teams, and Miami's one of them, and a change of scenery and hype. Like, if you're Cucho and you're like, hey, man, this one game, you're going to go up to Cleveland, you're going to play in front of 70,000 people as opposed to 20,000. He might be stoked on that. I don't know that, but, like, it's definitely something to think about. Like, hey, we're going to play this big game. Let's get up for it. We're traveling. It's going to be like a final. It's going to be intense. It could be cool. You're playing on natural grass. You're going to play in front of, like, probably
natural frozen grass and April grass and Cleveland.
It's not gonna be frozen.
Yeah, like, I don't know. And he may not show up or whatever, but for me, I think also Morgan posted something like, I'm very disappointed in certain things, like the front office and the ownership not contacting or talking to the season ticket members or the people or listening to them. But that's what they've always done, which sucks. I understand that. I understand that you can't opt out and that's garbage. But for me, I kind of like the idea of traveling, especially when we went to Chicago. Like, traveling to watch a game was a lot of fun. And I think Cleveland could be that if everybody went up there and we just dominated Cleveland. I feel like that would be fun.
So what you're saying, the good idea here is everybody likes to go to the away game because you take a weekend away, you make it a little extra.
It's only 2 hours. It's not like you have to drive 8 hours to Chicago.
But I see what
Holiday
you mean, because and you will still kind of be the dominant team in a way, right? You'll be in a hometown, except for the little messy boys.
It'll be interesting.
They don't count. They're not fans, so you'll be a home fan.
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea of going up to Cleveland. I like Cleveland, and in doing this. Like, I mean, I spoke to Tommy, who does the Atlanta podcast, and he's super pumped on the game. He lives in Cleveland, and he has got a bunch of people that are going to come out, and he's going to be rooting for the Crew against, Messi. So I think a lot of the people up there, especially sports fans, understand that they're going to go see someone as great as Messi, and they want to root against that guy.
Well, that's not what we saw in Columbus this year.
I can't believe.
I
wonder. The Arrowhead, I'm not entirely sure. Yeah.
Columbus, by the way, I would say that home game there was people, but compared to a lot of the other games I've seen, not so bad.
No, it was not.
It was as bad as I thought it was going to be.
I didn't see that many of those fans like that in there. I don't know. I'm just taking.
But we will in Cleveland. 110%.
That's my goat. That's my goat.
How many people have showed up for Messi? Like I guess what is Huntington Bank Stadium, whatever it's called now?
68,000.
68,000 is the max?
Yeah. If he I tell you what, if he shows up
30?
The only way I think this is okay is, well, they already screwed it up on the season ticket size.
It's going to be a Messi fan and then mom and dad, right? So it's like two that
I think if they sell it out and the Crew win, I go, cool. Because we haven't won against Miami at home, right? So it's like, I mean, I call a spade a spade. You can be upset like I said, as a season ticket member, I understand. As a Crew fan, I understand getting burnt in the past, but I don't mind this one-off going 2 hours and playing in Cleveland. I just wish they would have done something like, I'm just spitballing here. Like, if they
I don't want to be lied to by the front office. Don't
say it's like a seamless experience for growing into
it's garbage.
It's money, and you can say MLS pushing this because we know it's a great way to generate new revenue and all those things and get it in the big stadium. Just say it.
I just want to see MLS put a mandate out there that this can't be done more than one time a season.
Yeah, sure.
Or this has to be done.
And you can opt out.
And leave it at that.
No way in hell the Haslams are going to do that.
Yeah. And it's very frustrating.
But that's why I want to see it from the league. Don't leave it up to the clubs. Sure. Don Garber will definitely do the right thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Dong does a lot of good things.
In Dong we trust. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, I understand a lot of this stuff. I mean, the Nordica came out and wrote, a lot of people wrote all these statements. It's just like, we're very upset that this happened. And again, I understand. I also think it would be a lot better if they said, we're planning on a Leagues Cup game being there or a like CC3 match, but a regular season game also doesn't sit well with me. Even though I
can't wait for Messi to not show up. It's going to be so good.
That's what we wanted when we were here, and he showed up and scored 2 goals and we lost.
Yeah. By the way, I think the other point we didn't get to, Ben, and you're probably going to get to as we move forward, was the fact that Minnesota was in a similar situation, right?
So yes. So I put that on the doc. If someone else wants to read it, but I will say I'm almost certain that I'm almost positive that every single team is looking into this at least once.
I think it's league based. I think the league is pushing it. The league wants money. None 100%. Of these teams make money on their own. It all goes into the league fund.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, we are not. I mean, obviously, Kansas City last year, and I think this is not going to be the first time this happens. And it's just kind of the way it is, and it just so happens that we don't have a stadium that we can just go to.
Oh yeah, Ohio Stadium's really far away.
It would cost them so much money.
God, it would cost those billionaires so much money. Oh, my God.
Do we want to take a moment of silence for all the billionaires?
Yeah. Real quick on Minnesota. They opted not to play at the Viking Stadium, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Wrong
and then
vibes.
If you want to, if you want to go ahead and read
their statement was fantastic.
Their statement. And don't get me wrong. I agree. And I want to make sure that everybody knows that Trey and I understand everything. We just are trying to look at it at a different angle.
All right, Miami said, this is the Loon CEO. He says, it would not be congruent with who the club is and how we've grown. We feel really strongly that we want our season ticket members to be able to watch the Miami game from seats that they've spent their money on and supported us from.
Yeah.
So weird to have owners that actually care about you.
I read between the line here was the stadium was already booked for monster truck.
Yeah, man. Who was that? Was that Vancouver?
Vancouver, yeah.
Oh,
Vancouver.
what a
They
dude.
gave up their home game against Portland,
That's
but then
the
they
most
went.
MLS
They beat
one-
them 5-0.
Yeah, it's like MLS 1.0.
Yeah.
Sorry, we got
So
log
hard.
cutting.
Monster truck.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything else on this game, guys? You gonna go?
Yeah,
What's
I mean
gonna
that's
go?
the big thing, and like I said, I talked to Brian from Queens.
Going.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
I'm going.
I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it.
I mean,
a thing. And,
I'm hoping we can make a little parking lot party going on.
parking lot
Ooh,
spin the
yeah.
bottle contest.
You know, that's how the Brownies do it.
Parking lot party. I wish there was a better name for it. Whatever it is.
Never heard of one.
Yeah, I mean, but like we were talking before, and again, I talked to Tommy. I was like, "Hey, man, you know, obviously they play in the same stadium as the Falcons, but they also sell it out." But they posted online, you know, like what the ownership does there, and I was like, "Is this right?" So they came out with a fan first menu pricing, and I don't know if this was last year or this year.
We talked about this before. I mean, Atlanta's been doing this for years.
Yeah. So we talked about it before with Atlanta because Atlanta for season ticket members pays for your entrance into away games if you go, which is bananas.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
The way
And
it
so
should
like,
be.
Also,
Fantastic.
that also means they
Yes.
don't have anybody close by. I mean, that's the other thing.
yeah, well, I mean, regardless, it's there and they're extremely accommodating. And like,
Oh, yeah.
so the fan first menu pricing is, you know, like $2 hot dogs, $2 Cokes, $2 waters, $2 pretzel. Where's the beer?
Nuts.
$5 pizza or $5
55
beers,
burgers,
like
55
draft.
shakes, 55.
You know what? I mean, hey,
I'm doing something.
55 hot dogs.
even if the beer, I mean, like the beer is expensive. I agree on that, but the stuff I have to pay for my kids to get just a snack and a
It's
Coke
great.
at the
Like,
game.
just
It's like
do
$20
Yeah.
for like some nachos and a Gatorade. That's insanity, and that's charge me for my beer, and then I try to drink less. I kind of get it,
doesn't work.
but no, it didn't work. I just spend more.
It's just man, this stuff's frustrating.
There's not a cheap option there.
No,
there's not a cheap option.
And I
in
might
Stadium.
put in. We read as a joke the benefits for the Columbus Crew fans, which was ridiculous. But on Reddit, someone posted this quote from or the whole interview from Josh Glessing about we know what's best for our fans is what he said, and it's all about it's some guy from the front office talking about the Cleveland game and like what's
Seamless.
all good, and it is
seamless.
I don't
We
think
know
I'm going
what's
to be able
best
to.
for our fans. We hire rapists to run our football teams, and we overpay them, and we can't get rid of them. We know
And
what's
we can't
best.
pay Cucho what he's worth, and yeah. But I mean, go out there and look at it. It'll piss you off. It's just, man, can our ownership just like talk to us?
Nope. They can't.
It's crazy. And like again, talking to the Atlanta people who have 60,000 people at every single game, they do all this stuff for them. Like talking to Tommy, it's just like a breath of fresh air. And it's like, how can we be so deaf on all this stuff?
And I think we come to a point. We obviously give our ownership quite a bit of leeway because they were a part of saving us, so to speak. So that's all well and good, but there's a couple of things that are coming now that is kind of like, okay, are you going to be that special owner, or are you going to be that typical owner?
I think I still think they missed the mark. I mean, they could have like a Pilot Flying J, like roller dogs and like Slurpees and like $2 pricing, like any kind of sweet things. The Haslam's could literally market the crap out of it, and it's just like a walk up, like you walked into a Speedway.
Yeah,
like make it easy. Like it doesn't have to be that hard. But I mean, they really got to figure something out, because if you take a family and it costs you, $45 to $50 just to eat or drink, that's an issue.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've covered this topic. I'm sure we'll cover it more that week or as it approaches.
Yeah.
Seeing now that no one has taken the opportunity to use brain rot as previously challenged, even though we just talked about
Which is the definition of brain rot.
Oh, okay. So you were using it. You were using it kind of passively. I get it. Okay.
Yeah, dog.
All right. Well, so I think we're going to wrap things up here. Quick, before we do go, I want to do the Run Club shout out. We didn't do anything last week. The miles have drawn down in the cold, except for Kevin Thompson, who put up 70 miles.
Who doesn't live in the cold? No, he does. No,
I don't know.
Is
I
he
don't know
in
where
Columbus?
he's running.
I was thinking of Ben.
He's got the elevation too. Greg, Francesca's still up there. President
I get my foot
Stacy
X-rayed
at
tomorrow
25
morning
miles.
at 9. So
And Ben, it looks like you led the pod with 12 miles. So it's,
I have like
it's getting
5.
cold. Although I will say, I can't remember now, but I'll put it on the post. I did receive the winter running gloves that were recommended by the club.
Whoa!
From my sister for Christmas. So who
Is
is
it
also
still,
in
you
that.
like touch with them too?
Yeah. Oh yeah, lots of touching. So
Good.
anyway, so yeah, shout out to those still running out there, even though it's getting cold. And then yeah, next week we're gonna have another episode. If you want to like do some echo or don't, I mean, maybe funnier if you don't. Next week on the Upper 90 Club, Trey does Word of the Year. We talk about skating leagues, maybe. Everyone does our own special awards and New Year's resolutions. Let's cut the whole thing. Go Crew! Go Crew! What time is it? Got time for another one?
Thanks everyone for joining the club. We hope you'll listen next week and every week, even in the off season, to celebrate or commiserate. We'll save you a seat. If you like this podcast, please give us 5 stars and subscribe. You can email us at upper90clubpod@gmail.com. That's upper90clubpod@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at upper90clubpod. Go Crew!
The Uptown Girl?
That's what it means?
Girl.
That's what it means. Uptown Girl means like
that's what we
they tuck
dubbed.
it?
We dubbed it. We dubbed that.
Up to the belly button.
Yeah. We called it the Uptown Girl. Yeah.